Okay, so here's what a confidential briefing note looks like. This is a sample, different components that you can use to create briefing notes, either for yourself or for your partners on donor visits. So you always want to emphasize the fact that it is confidential, just to make sure that everyone knows that the information that you're going to share is not for public consumption. You want the donor name, the location, and the date of that proposed meeting, and then who you are and how they can reach you so that they know how to get in touch with you in case they have any questions. Objectives and desired outcomes is probably the most important part of the briefing note, and you really want to put it top of mind for everyone because they may not read a lot of the details that follow, but this is the part where that they're definitely going to. So it should be short, it should be in bullet point form, and basically identifies the main reason for the visit and what you're hoping to accomplish during the visit. Um, After that, you want to identify who's going to be part of the visit, and then list everyone internally that is going to be involved and what their roles are going to be, who's going to take the lead, for example, and if you're expecting them to serve a particular role, for example, they're going to be in charge of giving the tour. That's also another way that you can indicate that here. After that, you're going to focus on the strategy. This is the part where you explain a little bit about what you're hoping to accomplish and why that is the case. So why you've selected those particular activities, why you've selected the topics that you want different individuals to introduce. That will give people a little bit of more confidence in identifying how you've structured this, and they'll understand their role and they're going to be more willing to trust you to play along with it instead of going rogue. A visit overview. If it's more complex, if there's multiple moving parts, if it's going to be a solicitation visit, this is the point where you want to identify sort of almost a minute by minute or 15-minute intervals of what's going to be happening and who's going to be responsible for what. Who's introducing certain topics, who's going to be wrapping up the meeting, who's leading it. So this is a good time to script this a little bit in a scenario. You do not have to in any way adhere to it, but it gives everyone an opportunity to understand what the flow is going to be so no one feels surprised and caught off guard when topics are being introduced, for example. And then you're going to share some background information on the donor. Some biographical data is going to be important to pay special attention to name pronunciation, family members if that's applicable, job titles, how they like to be called, and any other organizational involvement indicators that you think are going to be important and relevant. Then you want to give a little bit of feedback on their giving history, mention capacity if you think that's going to be impactful for the people reading this. And then any relevant contact reports and a brief summary of the last thing that happened in terms of engagement with this particular donor, so that if someone is coming new into the relationship, they already have a little bit of a background on the donor and they can paint the picture. And any other information that you think is going to be relevant for people to know. For example, it could be an article or a quote they gave in an interview, some background information, or their business if it's something a little more complicated or technical, or their family if they have multiple connections with your organization, for example. So that's where this information would go, because it's good to know, but it's probably the last thing that people are going to read.